Hey guys, it's Spooky Noodles, and I am here with a book review. Yay! Yeah, that's right. It's a book review. I actually wasn't going to actually complete this book because October is over, and this is definitely an October read. But I decided to finish it because I only had a little bit left, and it turns out the last three stories aren't stories; they're essays, just about how much he enjoyed Halloween as a kid and stuff like that. So, yeah, so I was finished with it before I knew I was finished with it, basically. So, I listed these stories from 5 to 1 for the best stories in the book, and I will get to them in a second, but first I want to say a little thing I wrote here. Ronald Kelly's Mr. Glowbones and Other Halloween Stories was just fantastic. I enjoyed every story in this collection, and Mr. Kelly knows how to make me squirm. That's what I have to say about it. It was just an amazing collection of stories. I think there was only one I wasn't a big fan of, but again, it was maybe because it was short. The Halloween Train, I wasn't a big fan of that one because it was super short, and I didn't quite understand it. Very open-ended, and a lot of these stories are open-ended, which makes me want more, and that's a good thing, you know. So the Halloween Train, I didn't really care for, and then there was one more. I think it was Billy's Mask. It was just short, and I enjoyed the twist of that story, but it was kind of I saw it coming, so it just kind of was reading it just to read it. But other than those two stories, the collection's just amazing. Dark Harvest was amazing. I don't have the Dark Harvest in my top 5 for this collection, but it was an amazing story, just to let you know. So, this is the rank of Ronald Kelly short stories in the collection. At number 5, I have Pins and Needles, which is about this guy who enjoys putting hazards in candy. So he'll put needles and razor blades and chocolate and would just spike things with poison and rat poison, I should say. And yeah, that story made me squirm because it got to me, the whole him biting or drinking milk and having needles and razor blades and him biting into a piece of cake and then the razor getting chopped into his gums. It made me squirm. So that's why I have it at number 5. It was a pretty good story. I don't want to give too much away, but the ending was he got his comeuppance. So it was really fun to see him squirm as much as I was squirming. So number 4, we have The Outhouse. This is the second story, I believe, in the collection, and it doesn't disappoint at all. It's about these 3 kids who go and tip over an outhouse. Why? Well, it's not really described why that well. It's just a tradition this one kid has. They always push a outhouse over on Halloween, so they went and pushed over this outhouse, and they released this monster. Well, and I'm not gonna give too much away, but it's a whole monster chase scene, and it's amazing. And there's a little twist at the end, or not twist per se, but I guess it's a cautionary tale to listen to your elders in a sense. I don't know why what the old guy said held true. I wish there was more to the story. I wish this was a book. This would have made a really cool monster story book, a creature feature, I should say. And I would just want to know what happened, at the end there, because it seemed like everything, I don't know. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, the outhouse was pretty cool. I'm gonna say this wrong, but Pillingrade's Pit. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'm not sure. That story is about a little boy who finds this pit in this German guy's backyard, and it kind of brings something back from time. And there's a newspaper that has a date of 1950s, I don't know, 3, and has something that happened that year, and then under the newspaper there's like an animal or a baby, and each time he feels compelled to go to this thing, even though his experiences keep getting worse and worse. I don't know why in the world this kid keeps going to this thing, but yeah, without giving too much away, it's a cool story. It's another creature feature type story. It's really good. And number 2, this is going to be a surprise for anyone who read this story collection, because you know I initially had this as my number 1 for the longest time, but then I read one of the last stories in the collection and it blew me away. So this story, even though it's number 2, it was number 1 in my heart for a long time, until number 1 in the story collection came and pushed it back a notch. So number 2 is Mr. Glowbones, which is what this collection is named after, Mr. Glowbones and Other Halloween Stories. Mr. Glowbones is about a haunted Halloween decoration. That's all you really need to know. Very good story. It gave me chills and the creeps. I've really vividly, he didn't say much, but I had a vivid image of the whole thing, and it was just really good. Ronald Kelly did an amazing job with Mr. Glowbones. So now number 1, and I so wish Ronald Kelly would turn this into a book, but Mr. Mac and the Monster Mobile. Oh my gosh, guys, this story is so good. So freaking fantastic. So it's about this kid who, his friend basically is telling him, oh, you have to see this dude's van. It's crazy. It's insane, you know? And he talks his friend into going and seeing this man's van. Not van per se. It's like a giant RV camper thing, like a bus like sports teams would use to travel across the state. It's really nice inside. But basically, this weirdo guy invites the kids in. He says, oh, I'm not weird, trust me, you know, and it's so sketchy from the start, but it gets really good. I thought it was going one direction and it went another, and then it had an open-ended ending. Like, I was like so hungry for more of that story. Like, I wanted so much more, and I mean, it gave me a lot, but I was so greedy. I wanted more. Like, this short story could be a book easily. Like, I would love to see what happens next. Like, you know, because I'm not going to give away anything, but something happens to the boy, and I want to know what it is that's happening to the boy. You know, I want to know what it is and why. And the ending was such a twist, a little end at the end. You know, not a twist per se, but there's an ending that makes you want more. And I so wanted more with this story, and it was so good. It was so good, and I really wish Ronald Kelly would turn that into a book. I would totally read it. Because just make that the intro, that short story, the intro to the book, and then have it continue. I would love to know what this guy is, like what kind of monster he is. Is he an alien, just a monster? Like, it's crazy. I would love to know more. How he got all these special effect props, you know, that could be fakes, could not be fakes, who knows? He has these pictures, are they photoshopped? I'd love to know more. Anyways, that's the number 1, Mr. Mac and the Monster Mobile, and that's my top 5 for this short story collection. Like I said, it is a good collection, and if any of you need an October read next year, I highly suggest this collection. I couldn't suggest it anymore. It's such a good collection, and yeah. But yeah, let me what do you guys think of Ronald Kelly? This is the first collection I've finished by him. I'm going to be hopping back into Fear by Ronald Kelly, which is like, it's a 5-star read so far, and I doubt the ending's gonna push it back anymore, because I bet the ending's gonna be great. But it's a 5-star read so far, and I'm enjoying it so much. I don't want people to get it twisted. I only took a break from it to read some October reads, so to get into the Halloween spirit. And I'm going to be continue reading it after I read The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought of this collection if you read it. What was your favorite stories from this collection? How do you guys feel about Ronald Kelly? Yeah, I would love to know your feelings about him, because for me, he's one of my favorite authors. After reading this story collection and reading Fear by Ronald Kelly, I so want more by him. I'm looking forward to one day getting the Buzzard Zone, because that's a cool, it sounds like a cool twist on the whole zombie story thing, you know, like the buzzards like fly in and follow this pack of, like, this huge horde of zombies, you know, and it just sounds very interesting. So sorry, almost burped there. I actually made it through this whole video without burping, guys. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is a review of Ronald Kelly's Mr. Glowbones and Other Halloween Stories. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'd love to know your feelings about this story collection, and if you haven't read this story collection, highly recommend it. And that's it. So I hope you guys have a spooky day and a spooky night, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.